Oh, please be good. Please be good.
Not even powerful. Not even powerful, dude. Are you kidding?
Ay. Ascendant Shard. A new emote? What emote did we get? Jesus.
When I lost Carlos and Maria, there was no one person I could blame for it.
Look, I'm coming cut and dry with this one. The Dawning community event was the perfect example of a feeling I've been having for the past couple of months of Destiny. Bungie isn't making this game for any type of player right now. Pure fatigue and disappointment is being felt from the player base. I don't want to come off too harsh, but this event was rough to say the very least, and is a sign that these events in the game must see a significant change or just stop happening. So you're probably wondering, well, what happened then? What caused the Destiny community to not get angry, but disappointed? Like your mom telling you off when she truly gets hurt. Why do these quote-unquote community events need some change, and what does this mean for the game moving forward? Let me take you back on a context journey. Some footage in this video is from players around the community. Their links will be in the description of this video, as well as the music too. Before we begin this video, I got a PS5 winner to announce. As promised, Plink and I have teamed up to give away a PS5 for one Chad of a subscriber to my account. If you don't remember, Plink is an app that sorts through your gamer data to match you with players around the world with similar KDs, playtime, age, etc. to match you with the best fit for you. After analyzing through the masses and picking a random number through a complicated algorithm, we have a winner. Big congrats to SimBofficial on the new PS5. Shoot me a message on Plink with your address and we'll shoot a PS5 over to you as soon as possible. Thanks to Plink for sponsoring my first giveaway on the channel, and let's get back to the video. Community events at this point are nothing new to Destiny 2, and the first one was all the way back in the Season of Opulence to grind Escalation Protocol or Mars Nightfalls for extra rewards in the Menagerie for a week and an emblem. The community may not have been the biggest fan of this at the time, but the rewards were clear. The emblem was exclusive to those that participated, and hey, Menagerie had some cool loot to chase for some god rolls. The feedback of this event was that there needed to be something to do for the community event, visual progress to be made, and a true goal to work towards that affected the overall game. This call would be heard by Bungie, who waited until Season of Dawn at the start of 2020 for the next community event to come together. One that we already covered in another video, but let's talk about it again. The Empyrean Foundation did have a clear goal, and although I wasn't a fan of giving players god rolls for standing still in the tower, I liked that we could visually see the progress, and once completed we were rewarded with a cutscene of Trials of Osiris and its triumphant return to get hyped for next season. Now, let's be real. We knew Trials was going to come back with or without the community helping out, but it was still cool to see the feedback from the first event be relayed here. Now we jump further in time to Season of Worthy. Debated as the worst season ever made because boring public events were the mainstay of the season. I made another video covering the events with Worthy where the community was lied to because haha, pun on Fellwinter's Lie of the Shotgun, but also because we were promised multiple dates for the doors bugs to be patched. If you don't remember what happened, it went down like this. Bungie wanted the community to do millions of Seraph Tower public events, but the community wasn't biting due to serious fatigue and, well, Seraph Towers just weren't fun for anyone.
It was calculated that at current rates, we would finish this event after the season was already over. Community apathy was so bad that the concept of intentionally failing the event was the main course of action that people wanted to take as a protest against this.
Yeah, we were estimated to finish this event way after the season was done. So Bungie put a 5 times multiplier on the weekdays and a 10 times multiplier on the weekends to artificially speed up some progress. The community reception was so bad that people wanted to fail this one, like actually wanted to fail it hard to prove a point. But that didn't happen, and instead the fucking door just didn't open for another week. I will say this one was at least a strong reward, even if I'm not the biggest fan of allowing Fellwinter's Lie in the game. Sorry, but I like to grind for some shotgun rolls, not have one handed to me, no matter how cool that coffee cup was in the bunker. Just when you thought Worthy couldn't get topped though, here comes Season of the Hunt. Probably the worst season ever made in the community's eyes at this point. I know it sounds harsh, but I love this game, so it's tough love. I just don't get why we're even making this many seasons if only 2 of them are gonna have sufficient content at this point. But I will say that COVID may have something to do with this season's content. Season of the Hunt was released with Beyond Light to some okay reception at launch, but had some serious issues too. A loot system that is a serious step back from almost every other one. And the system is topped by the Dawning loot system, so, you know. The weapons from the Hunt are nowhere near Worthy's weapons in terms of quality, or just worthy of use in general. No pun intended. And there were no mods introduced here either, the one saving grace that Season of the Worthy had for most players. The hunts are way too easy, and the only cool thing from the season, Hawkmoon, didn't come with the mission to farm for the roles you want on it. A real bummer in my eyes. The season is kind of built around solo content too, something that Destiny, in my opinion, should never be built around since it's a team shooter. But I digress on that point because I know I might be alone. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of today's video now that you know the context going into this one and hopefully understand why people are frustrated. A harmless event, but one that hasn't changed at all since Forsaken. But this time, it came with a fusion rifle. Kinda cool, I guess, but predictable for the community as a whole again. The Dawning came with a kind of cool quest to get this ship and upgrade it over and over again. Obviously masterwork in oven because, yeah, that's what we do in Destiny these days. And get some old weapons that were sunsetted, but not. I don't know why they have the old seasonal symbols still if they're supposed to be for Season of the Hunt, but I'm happy that they're back in the game, having me level them up again. What the community as a whole didn't like and made it very clear to Bungie was removing Dragonfly on Coldfront, an SMG that had been given a pretty exclusive perk to it and would give us something to grind. It was an accident to come in the game, but man, it was some aspirational loot the community so desperately wanted in this game. Now, remember what I said about community events. They have evolved and taken steps back over time, but each of them had a reward where we could all at least say, yeah, okay. This Dawning, I have never seen the player base so not surprised to be disappointed. At this point, it's like the player base is trained to not care about these at all. Worthy definitely caused some of this lack of care, but the Dawning could have been the saving grace in all the negative reception that community events receive. This event was to gather essence, which was given through any means in the game, any activity, any bounties, anything. With even all of that, the community was tasked with gathering 1 billion essence and, well, Bungie had to buff the amount of progress again, just like Worthy. The Destiny community was actively rooting to fail this event. Like, actively disliking this one a lot, to the point where I think most people were worn out and just done caring about community events like these. The reward was...
I don't know what to make of any of that crap.
Well, it was an Ascendant Shard and a guaranteed exotic. I personally think the reward was harmless since it was a free-to-play event, but I really want to stress how disappointed the community was at this point, and you know, I'm actually going to agree with them on this one. Like I said, the reward is harmless, but when you take into some pretty simple factors, it makes you question who this reward was even made for. Was it the casual player? No, I don't think one golf ball and an exotic is even something unique to their interest, considering that gets to masterwork 1 piece of gear or 2 away from an exotic to masterwork 2. And they can just grab more exotics at Xur anyway. Was it for the hardcore player? No, it would take one Master or Grandmaster Nightfall for the same reward. Also, Xur can give you better exotics each week anyways, like I said before. I think the easy counter argument is, well, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Hey, that's the ultimate dad line. But I want to stress that community events are supposed to be hyped up as a rally for us to come together to unlock something for everyone. This is a precedent that Bungie has set in the past, and that's why I wanted to give you extra context as to why the community was frustrated. To me, this sets a bad precedent for community events going forward, even if they have really nice rewards. The problem with the community event obviously isn't the reward. It's the fact that this was expected to be lackluster, something that Bungie absolutely needs to remedy. The game is always at its best when something mysterious and secretive comes out of nowhere. Something that can shock a whole player base. Something that gets at least some excitement to get people motivated. I don't think these community events are good for anyone right now because you have two types of mentalities that won't satisfy either player. One mentality looks at the event and grinds it a lot, or just really hopes that something is going to be good and they stay super optimistic when that's just not going to happen. The other type of player doesn't participate in the event at all, and when it comes time to get the reward, it just reconfirms their reasons to not participate to begin with. Something needs to change with these events, or they need to just stop happening in the game from now on, in my opinion. But I want to hear what you think. Well, about all of this. Leave me a comment or talk to me on my Twitch. I know this video comes off negative, but it's not trying to be, man. It's trying to be a video to be heard. I don't think people are angry about the dawning reward as much as the event itself. It's taken steps back from previous community events in almost every single way, to the point where I don't think the community will ever be happy with one of these again. It's not just the dawning community event that's why people are upset. It's the series of events that have led to the community becoming ultimately disappointed, and I hope some change happens, or unfortunately, this cycle will continue. I usually don't end videos on a negative note, but this one had to be said or else I would be failing at what I do. I know I'm known for covering community events, but this one even got to me. I just wasn't interested, man. I hope Bungie has a game plan for these types of events moving forward, and I know they've been able to pull a rabbit out of the hat before, but they're gonna need to act soon, or I fear this feeling of disappointment and fatigue will set into every facet of the game. We'll just have to see. If you did enjoy this video though, a like would be greatly appreciated, as well as a subscription. Thank you guys so much. Check out my second channel for stream highlights, and have yourselves a great day. Peace out.
Three in a row!
Oh! Oh shit.
Oh my. You know that one scene where the dude's standing there waiting for the arrows to hit him? I feel like that's me right now.
This guy's gaming.
Oh!
Oh my god.
Three symbols, so it's three houses.